I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. The failure of the Occupy Wall Street movement. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. In the beginning, there was some sympathy toward the protesters who believe the federal government should take action against financial institutions that cheat. In the face of the terrible recession, that message is a powerful one. And so the Occupy Wall Street movement got some traction. But the more we saw and heard, the more fair-minded Americans came to believe that the occupiers were not interested in legitimate issues so much. Many of them simply want to blow up the economic system. In addition, some of their behavior was and is reprehensible. All kinds of violent crime, all kinds of provocation against the police, all kinds of depraved behavior in general. This picture taken by the New York Post shows hypodermic needles that were taken out of the New York City site. Isn't that nice? I don't believe we saw any hypodermic needles at the Tea Party protests, or am I wrong? The left-wing media is still trying to portray the occupiers as the liberal equivalent to the Tea Party. One simple question. Would you prefer that your daughter demonstrate with the Tea Party people or with the occupiers? You make the call, remembering the hypodermic needles. Now, a recent Wall Street Journal poll asks, do you consider yourself a supporter of the Occupy Wall Street movement? 63% of Americans now say they do not support the movement. Just 28% say they do. Because President Obama was sympathetic to the movement in the beginning, along with many members of the Democratic Party, this presents a big political problem for them. And so officials in 11 cities got on a conference call to discuss how to deal with the occupiers.
What had started as a political movement and a political encampment ended up being an encampment that was no longer in control of the people who started them.
And that's true, to be fair, and we always are fair here on The Factor. Some of the Occupy protesters are well-intentioned folks who believe the financial system is no longer fair. That's a legitimate debate. But they have been overrun by thugs, anarchists, and the crazies who intimidate. If you're a violent person, people usually back off. So the Occupy Wall Street movement is dead, finished as a legitimate political force in this country. And that's a good thing.
Crimes are taking place at Occupy camps all across the country, and authorities, well, they're not taking it anymore. Now, following last week's deadly shooting, police in riot gear, they cleared out encampments at Occupy Oakland earlier today. Now, reportedly, they arrested 32 people during this raid. Now, this after yesterday, officers in Oregon arrested more than 50 in clashes with police while attempting to shut down Occupy Portland. And yet Democrats continue to send their praise and support to the protesters. And what more is it going to take for them to stand up against this alleged violence? Joining me now with reaction, the founder and the president of the group Bond, the Brotherhood Organization for New Destiny, Reverend Jesse Lee Peterson, and I am on his board for Howard Kurtz for the 400th time, and author of the best-selling book American Individualism, Fox News contributor Margaret Hoover. Look at what's happening. They have literally separate tents because of rapes. Yeah. We had a murder. There's a plan out I read earlier today that they're literally now trying, there's bomb threats that they're talking about. And the president, Nancy Pelosi, wrapped their arms around this thing.
There was a person killed in Oakland, California this week. I blame Barack Obama for this. Barack Obama has gone out and created a class warfare because he has failed in what he was trying to do. And next year, he's going to blame it on the Republican. Unemployment is at 9.1. The people are not happy. So he's going to say, look, I tried to get you jobs. I tried to help you, but the Republicans would not allow me to do it.
He had 2 years of a Democratic Congress.
Right. But he thinks that's going to help him. And then he goes out and tried to compare Occupy Wall Street, a bunch of airheads who have no idea why they're there, by the way. He asked, why are you here? I don't know. They have no idea, using drugs, committing crimes, just out of control. And Obama goes out and tries to compare that to the Tea Party movement. As you know, I founded the South Central LA Tea Party movement, and we're about less government in our lives, freedom. We want lower taxes.
Racist because all Tea Party members are racist.
That's right.
Media. All right. Let me get Margaret in here.
Jesse,
they try to call us that.
Jesse, you know what I think this begins to remind me of, Sean, and you must remember in 1990s the WTO protests in Vancouver.
remember that.
Right, well, I remember I was, in kindergarten. But in the 1990s, remember the protests in Vancouver? Remember these WTO protesters who were vandalizing, they were beating back authority, there was fires,
same thing.
Seattle, same thing. And exactly, you have in the left, when they're protesting, this anti-authoritarianism, this anarchist streak that just despises authority, despises the cops, and looks for that tension with the cops and really breeds violence. You don't get that in right-wing protests. In right-wing protests, you get people who, they don't like the federal government, but they respect local authorities, they respect the cops. And there's a real difference in the way the right and the left protest, and this risks really disenfranchising the Democrats who support them still, because it's